After a chaotic, nerve-wracking incident that ensued during the inauguration of the 8th Parliament, the House reconvened on Friday, January 15, 2020. The day began with the NPP legislators clad in white trooping in early to occupy the right side of the House. This follows a stand pulled by the NDC caucus on the night of the dissolution of the 7th Parliament to occupy the majority side. At 10 a.m., sitting was meant to commence, but delayed until the Speaker of Parliament arrived to the House around 12 p.m. The Speaker of the House, Alban Gbagben, welcomed new and old members of the House, adding that they hold the task of a career legislator in high esteem. The Speaker then made some bold statements on how he intends to run the legislature during his tenure.
I will not yield to pressure from any quarter to allow this August House to be turned into a rubber stamp or an obstructor.
And lamented the decision of government to have legislators double as cabinet ministers.
Those who are appointed to ministerial office generally prioritize their executive branch roles over their parliamentary roles.
The House's first engagement was the resolution of who forms the majority and minority of the House, since the number on both sides are equal. There have even been 3 previous meetings between the leadership on both sides of the House to deal with this, but reached no consensus. During the week, separate press conferences by both sides of the House expects the Speaker to give a fair ruling. But a letter written to the Speaker by the independent Member of Parliament for Fomena constituency declaring his intention to deal with the NPP caucus in Parliament boosted the NPP caucus chances of having majority in Parliament. Then the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Gbagben, brought finality to the matter.
You have the new Patriotic Party wing or caucus in Parliament, together with the independent Member of Parliament from Fomena, and they now constitute the majority group.
But the NDC legislators raised issues on the definition on what the majority status is. The deputy leadership on both sides of the House, Afenya Markin of the NPP and James Kluche of Fiji, bantered on the issue at 2 separate news conferences on the Parlour of Parliament.
And I'm happy that you are all there when you did explain that NPP as individual, as one party, cannot make a group, but with the addition of another person, which is an individual, it has become a group. He went on to say that we still have no majority in Parliament.
The Speaker of the House clarified the stance. However, addressing the media on the Parlour of Parliament, the deputy leaders on both sides of the House waded into the matter.
I think it's clear. There is nothing like any ambiguity. Mr. Speaker has ruled, and if you take the opportunity to get the audio, you would confirm that.
The Speaker of the House clarified the stance. Pursuant to Standing Orders 1511, the Legislative House is meant to formulate the various committees to conduct legislative business of the 8th Parliament. Following this, the leadership of the House proposed a report for the composition of membership of committees and the Committee of Selection as a ratio of 138 to 137. But the deputy leader of the NDC caucus in Parliament, James Kluche of Fiji, insisted the representation of the NDC members on the committees be split equally.
We have to chair the committees on 50-50 basis. We have equal numbers in Parliament, 137, 137. So at every committee, the numbers will be shared equally. For instance, if you have 20-member committee, we have to have 10. If we have, where we have, let's say 25-member committee, we can decide to give them 13, we will take 12. But even that 12, we insist that they take the number 13 for 2 years. Then we'll come back and take 13 for 2 years. Because the whole issue is about equal sharing. Now, there are committees that we think that should be chaired by the government party. For instance, Public Finance Committee, Defense, Foreign Affairs. Those are committees that must be chaired by what? The governing party. And then committee that will be chaired by the opposition party, that is Public Accounts Committee, Government Assurances, and then subsidiary. The rest we have to share is what? Equally, 50-50. The chair have, we chair have.
Leader, so if you are talking about 50-50 sharing, where do you place?
Hey, no party has an advantage over the other. But if you read our rules, when parties come together, so in this case, he is right by saying that no party. So NDC is 137, all right? Wait, let me answer you. NDC has 137, MPP has 137. That is why there was a need for the deal breaker to take a decision. So as for those comments he made, he's right.
Should we take it as this your interpretation?
It's not my interpretation. Please, let's patiently follow without prejudice. Mr. Speaker has ruled. That ruling was clear. I'm not putting words in his mouth. You can get the audio and get it. If Mr. Speaker again says that in real terms, parties are at par, he is right. But in any democracy, it takes coalition to come together to have numerical superiority. What has happened here is, it is the independent member of parliament's decision that has given us one more over our colleagues. And this, Mr. Speaker, said that by virtue of the independent members' decision, MPP group has 138. And he explained it. These are not my words. So it is not a matter still in controversy. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Very grateful.
The House is meant to resume Tuesday, January 19, 2020. Reporting from Parliament, Emmanuel Ansah-Cudjoe for Metro News.